What do you think the case said about those times, and how do you think times have changed or haven't changed?
Well, times changed a great deal. When I heard that case, I was in Mississippi. 3 boys had just been killed a few years before in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and there were lynchings, and you couldn't sit down with co-counsel if he wasn't the same race and eat a meal anywhere in Mississippi. I remember this was only 66, and 64 was the Civil Rights Act, the Equal Accommodations Act. So the racial separation was very pronounced then and accepted.
How important do you think it is to bring cases like this before the courts?
Well, it's always important, whether it's loving or any other form of discrimination. If you don't stop the majority from oppressing the minority, they will take over and oppress the minority.
And what do you remember about Mrs. Loving?
Very sweet, very shy woman. Me and Mr. Cohen, between us, only met her about a dozen times in the several years surrounding the case, and then for years after the case. Very demure. I mean, she just was a sweetheart, the nicest client I ever represented.
Did she seem reticent to take her case that far, or was she excited to do it?
Oh, no. She's the last thing in the world she wanted to do. I remember I called her to come to the Supreme Court argument, and she didn't want to. She didn't want to even have a press conference when it was over. She didn't show up for anything. She would have had we asked. She was very cooperative, but she didn't want publicity. She just wanted to be left alone and raise her 3 children and be with her husband.
Thanks for listening to this ACLU podcast. To learn more about how the ACLU continues to fight racial injustice, go to www.aclu.org/racialjustice.